Recently, something huge has happened that Nintendo did. Something with massive implications, fueling speculation for both Mario and Luigi and other Mario RPGs as a whole. This very thing changes how we will look at the idea of a potential Mario and Luigi 6 forever. This massive event that occurred was a survey. Look, we haven't had any real Mario and Luigi acknowledgement ever since Superstar Saga came to Nintendo Switch Online. But even then, does that even really count? In terms of looking at the future, we really haven't heard a thing. But that finally changed. Well, somewhat. Just a bit ago, Nintendo of Europe sent out a survey to fans. I believe this was the form of an email sign-up thing where you'd get news and survey stuff, and the theme of the survey was Mario RPGs. The thing is, these surveys of specific series don't happen very often. Most surveys you'll see from Nintendo are generally about their own website, Nintendo as a whole, some about asking for your favorite games, and so on. We rarely see any of these actual surveys about a specific IP. The last few times I can recall this happening are from Pokemon, relating to how people feel about each type of Pokemon series and what games they want to see, and then there's also a WarioWare survey which we'll talk about later. Firstly, we need to look into this survey. It is a general interest survey about Mario RPGs, which games you like the most, which kind of gameplay style you like, and how good you want the games to be. From the images we see, it includes all Mario RPGs, Paper Mario, Mario & Luigi, and even Super Mario RPG. I do find it interesting they included Mario RPG in this, suggesting Nintendo might want to consider making it a full-on series, which would be kinda interesting. Unfortunately, there isn't a complete archive of every single question on the survey yet, but we have what's seemingly the most important. The first question is asking if you've played the games, heard of them, or don't know them at all. I think the option that you've heard of them but haven't played them is crucial, especially when this is related to Mario RPGs. At this point, Nintendo's likely only primarily looking at sales data for the Switch, and likely still 3DS for Mario & Luigi. Regardless of any of your stances on the past few Paper Mario games and the past few Mario & Luigi games, you can understand why people would know about these games and series but not buy them. Paper Mario is pretty obvious. The newer games are like a completely different series at this point. I know there's a lot of Switch owners that passed on Origami King and are waiting for Thousand Year Door because everyone and their dogs know at this point that the original games are preferred over the modern games by a majority of fans. Then there's poor Mario and Luigi, and the reason why these remakes didn't sell as well is 90% because of other factors and 10% due to fans not liking the changes that the actual games made. There are so many people aware of the Bowser's Inside Story remake and didn't buy it because Bowser's Inside Story is already playable on that console. Why would you buy that game again on the same console when it's generally not that necessary? Graphically it looks fine. As someone who loved the remake, I still have to admit that this game had no real reason to exist at all. Sorry about that. But you get my point. People love Mario & Luigi and Paper Mario, but because of not very smart decisions, they got butchered to a degree. And obviously yes, I still enjoyed Origami King and even Color Splash, but I'd much rather the Paper Mario games have a battle system that actually makes me enjoy battling, and Paper Mario games that are legally allowed to have original characters. So yeah, thanks for including that option, Nintendo, because that is genuinely important. Next question asks what Mario RPG is your absolute favorite, and I love how they handled this. At first, this looks like a really strange selection, but the original person who shared this stated that the previous question asks which of the games that you played, and then it asks here, out of which of the games that you selected that you played, which is your favorite. This is genuinely what we needed. Imagine you only played the modern Paper Mario games, and you had no knowledge on the older games. And then this survey gives you all of these games and asks you for your favorite. See the problem there? If the survey gave you all of them asking for your favorite, it could sabotage the results if someone just simply didn't play the older ones, causing Nintendo to make more games like the newer ones. Again, I don't hate all aspects of modern Paper Mario, it's just that I think we can agree that a deeper plot, original characters, and a good combat system would be preferred. Also, by this point, you're probably wondering, why does this matter so much? It's just a survey. To that, I say the Club Nintendo Super Paper Mario survey. According to Nintendo, the whole reason they ditched the story was because less than 1% of fans apparently said that they liked the story in that game. But the thing is, they shouldn't even be relying on those types of surveys though, because considering most people didn't even pay attention to Club Nintendo surveys and just did them mindlessly so they could get points for the rewards. That survey is the reason that every Paper Mario fan is freaking out right now. There's a high chance that it genuinely matters. But the thing is, it also does for Mario & Luigi. June 2nd, 2021. Nintendo sent out a survey to fans asking if they'd be interested in buying a new WarioWare for $50. About a week or two later, WarioWare Get It Together was announced for the Nintendo Switch. In the same survey, they ask if you're a fan of Big Brain Academy, and then a new Big Brain Academy game was announced September 2nd, 2021. There is an incredibly high chance that this survey is not only the Paper Mario team looking for what they should do for Paper Mario 2028, but also for Nintendo and what they should do with Mario & Luigi. or if the next entry is already in development, what they should do for it in general. Arte Piazza was the developer of the Super Mario RPG remake. Yoshihiko Makawa, the former COO, then later CEO of Alpha Dream, supervised the remake. It's possible Mr. Makawa fully transitioned to Arte Piazza to continue working on Mario & Luigi. I know Arte Piazza mainly has been handling remakes, but they've had their own original projects. But then there's Ilka. Quite a few devs went there, and Nintendo has already technically worked with them on Pokemon games like... oh no. Regardless, less than a dozen devs at Alpha Dream went there to work on games like One Piece Odyssey and oh no. There's also a significant amount of former Alpha Dream employees who have just not been credited on anything. At first I thought, well maybe they're retired or in another industry, but the amount of people who haven't been credited on the Bowser's Inside Story remake and Fantasian, a mobile game project a lot of Alpha Dream veterans were part of, is increasingly suspicious. Without making this a who will continue Mario & Luigi 2 video, what I'm trying to say is, there is a chance, don't get your hopes up though, that Alpha Dream simply made a new studio. It's very possible for companies to do this when they go bankrupt, but then again, where would they have the budget for it? There's a lot of options and not a lot of answers. Continuing with the survey, it then asks you what combat features you like the most. All of the features are seen in Mario & Luigi, or Paper Mario, or Mario RPG. This question is really asking which elements of which series you prefer more. Really hoping they don't just plan to end all these series and combine them into one, but that's just getting ahead of myself. The next question is just this. I love how you can immediately tell point blank what they want to know. Do you guys really want original characters? Like, come on guys, what about Peach and Bowser? Like, it's genuinely baffling that they're even asking this. Of course people want original characters in RPGs. It's just sad at this point that there's people within Nintendo that genuinely think that these games would be better off without original characters. Next, it asks which combat you prefer and what you prefer in it. We get references of Bros attacks, partners, and even Super Paper Mario's real-time combat. Again, this makes me dread at the small possibility of Nintendo combining the RPGs into one new series, considering Nintendo didn't want more than one Mario RPG supposedly. But I seriously doubt that would happen. This is likely just Nintendo wanting to see what elements people liked. If people didn't like Bros attacks, they would just not have them in the next entry. If people really like the real-time combat, maybe they'll incorporate something similar into the next Paper Mario game. Stuff like that. According to VGC, the next question asks how people prefer leveling up, like by gaining experience points or progressing through the story. Again, this obviously only applies to Paper Mario. I wonder how the guy writing this survey felt, asking these painfully obvious questions. Just give me this survey, please! The survey then ends by asking for feedback on Origami King, the Mario RPG remake, and if they're looking forward to the Thousand Year Door remake on Switch. Judging by the fact that Thousand Year Door is sold out on Amazon, it was on the top of their bestsellers list, I'd say that people are looking forward to the game if you ask me. But the thing is, even then, if you want to have more games like Thousand Year Door, you have to buy this remake. I feel like the future of Paper Mario depends on this to a degree. But enough of Paper Mario. Nintendo acknowledged Mario and Luigi! They are looking for feedback for future Mario and Luigi titles and how to handle them. Also, I literally have to bring this up again. No, Mario and Luigi isn't dead. I am positive, and has been positive for the past year, that it's just on hiatus. Who cares if Alpha Dream went bankrupt? Okay, I definitely do care, but that's not what I meant. Alpha Dream going bankrupt doesn't kill off the series automatically. So many people still don't realize that Nintendo owns the series. They own all of the games, all of the characters. Back in 2012, Hudson Soft, the Mario Party developers, were absorbed into the company Konami. Did this mean that Mario Party was dead? No! Nintendo just got another developer, ND-Cube, which consisted of a lot of old Mario Party staff. There's also another code, developed by King, which went bankrupt in 2010. Did this mean that another code was dead? Okay, well, in general, the story was basically concluded fine enough, it wasn't really a full-on series. But Nintendo still brought it back with another developer recently. Also, please tell me this. When has Nintendo fully abandoned a Mario spin-off series? It has never really happened. I guess you could argue Mario Baseball, but that was like a one-time game. It wasn't an actual series like Mario Tennis where it had multiple entries. And Mario & Luigi sold better than a lot of spin-offs also, like Mario vs. Donkey Kong. I mean, you could also say Wario Land, but we're talking about a direct Mario spin-off. And Wario Land didn't sell the greatest either, when Mario & Luigi has sold well until Paper Jam, arguably, and then the remakes for obvious reasons. In my genuine, honest opinion, Mario & Luigi isn't, and never has been, dead. It's been 5 years since the Bowser's Inside Story remake, and if that reaches 10 years and there's no signs of a new entry, I'll consider it dead. But you have to realize, this is a massive transitional period for Mario & Luigi. Dream Team didn't take 4 years to make just because they felt like it. Mario Luigi has never been on a home console. It's likely that the next entry is only now in pre-production or going to start pre-production soon, and it will likely take another 3 to 4 years, but there's also a good chance that it's been in development and it's far into it. We don't know, and I really hate not knowing. But we have one thing. There's hope. There's been hope, and that survey is just strengthening it. For now, we need to stay strong and be patient. If I am wrong and the series is dead, you can laugh at me, mock me, hate me, I don't care, but at least be patient. The series will definitely be taking a break after Alpha Dream's closure, but we should definitely see something before 2030. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you guys so much for the support lately. It really means a lot. I'm going to keep trying my best for you guys, so stay tuned.